This lesson, we want to solve equations of the form ax squared equals k. Our strategy for solving these equations will be to isolate the x squared term, get it by itself, then take the square root of both sides of the equation. Normally we will be getting two answers. We need to check to be sure that both answers make sense in the context of the problem. As an example, solve for both answers. X squared equals 81. We can take the square root of both sides. So x has a value of 9 or a value of negative 9. Now there's a symbol in mathematics that includes both of these answers. It's plus or minus 9. So please notice this has two answers and this stands for two answers. How about if we have y squared equals 17? Once again, we take the square root of both sides. So y equals plus the square root of 17 and y equals negative the square root of 17. Or if we use this shorter form, plus and minus the square root of 17. Suppose we have x squared plus 3 equals 17. Notice x squared is not by itself, so we need to isolate. So let's subtract 3 from both sides of the equation. So x squared equals 14. Let's take the square root of both sides now. So x equals plus or minus the square root of 14. How about y squared minus 36 equals 0? We want to get y squared by itself, so let's add 36 to both sides. So y squared equals 36, plus 36 minus 36 equals 0. Let's take the square root of both sides, so y equals plus or minus 6. Now each of these answers has to be checked in the context of the problem to make sure it makes sense. In this situation, once again, x squared is not by itself, so let's divide both sides by 9 before we start. So now we have x squared equals 144 divided by 9. Let's take the square root of both sides. So x equals, the square root of 144 is 12. The square root of 9 is 3. And if we divide this through, we wind up with x equals plus or minus 4. Notice we also could have divided here originally and gotten the square root of 16, which would have gotten to the same place. How about 5x squared equals 40? Once again, let's get rid of the number in front, divide by 5. So we have x squared equals 8. Let's take the square root of both sides. So x equals plus or minus the square root of 8. So that's our answer. However, 8 can actually be written as the square root of 4 times the square root of 2. So a better answer would be plus or minus 2 times the square root of 2. One last item to focus on, x squared plus 25 equals 0. It looks like the same type of problem. However, something unusual is about to occur. We have x squared equals negative 25. Take the square root of both sides. So x is going to be equal to plus or minus the square root of negative 25. Recall that we can't take the square root of the negative number, so we have no real number that will do this.